Hare Krishna, all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and Dandavat Pranam. I invite you to the early morning short Bhagavatam class organized by ISKCON Radha Govinda Temple, Kulai, Mangaluru. I indeed invite you for and on behalf of His Grace, Sri Namanishta Das Prabhuji. We shall begin with the prayers. You shall continue with your prayers, keeping the mute button on. Prayers are very important, as I always say, because it's the mercy of the Lord which lets us understand the message and the meaning of all that we are hearing. And that message is very important to understand, to put it into practice. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakabalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagar Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagar Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patita Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please follow me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye
Devim
Devim
Saraswatim
Saraswati
Vyasam
Vyasam
Tato
Tato
Jaya
Jaya
Mudiraye.
Udire
Surnatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha
शृण्वतां
Vatam
स्वकताः
Sakala
कृष्णः
Krishna
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
Kirtana
हृदयन्तस्तोय भद्राणि विदुनोति सुरस्तताम्
हृद्यन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम्
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी
भगवती
भगवती
उत्तमाश्लोके
उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति
भक्तिर्भवति
नैष्टिकी
नैष्टिकी
Daily recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam removes all inauspicious things from our life, and it being the worship of Uttama Sloka Lord Sri Krishna, it brings about Naistiki Bhakti. Before we start the Srimad Bhagavatam, words or two about Premakishwari Mataji, which you all are very anxious, and all of you are praying to her family member. Her sister's daughter, her niece, has been very sick and having a major disease. It appears the disease can be brought about under control with the medicine. And she, after operation, is doing very well. Mataji is comfortable now and she will be joining us from tomorrow. So you, I'm sure, must be very tired of us. Premakishwari Mataji will join from tomorrow. Please continue your prayers for her niece Vaidehi. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 6, Prescribed Duties to Mankind. Chapter 5, Narada Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha. Those who want, okay, already there is a raised hand. Nityam pulsa viragah svat tvaya kevalinam brusha manyase yad yupasham sneha pashamni krunantanam. Madhumai Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभुजी प्रणाम्स प्रभुजी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नेत्थं पुंसां विरागः स्यात् त्वया केवलिनामृषा मन्यसे यदि उपशमं स्नेहपाश निकृन्तनम् थैंक यू प्रभुजी हरे कृष्णा
Thank you. Venkata Narasimha Das Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Netam pumsam viraga satyaya kevalanya mrusha manyasya yajjupasamam snehapasa nikruntanam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you. Usha Dayavati Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नेतां पुंसां विरहस्यात् वय केवलिनमृषा मन्यसे यति उपासमं स्नेह आसन कृतनम थैंक यू प्रभु जी हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी
Thank you. Sukanya Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी नेथं पुंसा विराग स्यात् लयाते केवलिनामृषा मन्यसे यद्युपशमं स्नेहपाशनिकृन्तनं. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Thank you. Madhu Soni Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नेत्थं पुंसां विरागः स्यात् त्वया केवलिना मृषा। मन्यसे यत युपशमं स्नेहपाशनिकृन्तनम्। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you. Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ranat Pranam.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नेत्थं पुंसां विराग स्यात् त्वया केवलिनामृषा। मन्यसे यद् उपशमं स्नेहपाश निकृन्तम्। हरे
Chitra
कृष्ण प्रभु।
Mohini. Hare Krishna. Chitra Mohini Devidasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नेथं पुंसां विरागस्यात् त्वया केवलिना मृषा। मन्यसे यदुपशमं स्नेहपाशामृकुन्तनम्। हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
Thank you. Pushpa Yashomati Devidasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नेतं पुंसां विरागः स्यात्वया केवलिना मृषा। मन्यसे यदि उपशमं स्नेहपाशनिकृन्दनम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक यू
Thank
प्रभु
you.
जी।
Vijaya Kumari Devidasi. Vijaya Kumari Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नेतं पुंसां विरागः स्यात् त्वया केवलिना मृषा। मन्यसे यद् युपशमं स्नेहपाशनिकृन्तम्। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
Thank you. Pranadandini Madhvi Devidasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नेत्थं पुंसं विरागः स्यात् त्वया केवलिना मृषः। मन्यसे यदि उपशमं स्नेहपाशः निकृन्तनम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। थैंक यू प्रभु।
Thank you. Uttama Padma Devidasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नेतं पुंसां विरागः स्यात् त्वया केवलिना मृषा। मन्यसे यद्युपशमं स्नेहपाशानिकृन्तनम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Thank you. Revati Ratnangi Devidasi Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नेतं पुंसां विरागः स्यात् त्वा केवलमनुष्यः। मन्यसे यदि उपशमं श्लेषपाशनिकुन्तनम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you. Subbarao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ranat Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you are muted.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam. Dandot Pranam, Prabhuji. Am I
Ranat
audible?
Pranam Prabhuji. Ranat
Am I
Pranam.
audible? Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, 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 Prabhuji. You are.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Netam Punsam Viragasyat Tvaya Kevalinam Rusha Manyase Yachupasham Upashamam Sneha Pashanikrunthanam. Hare Krishna.
Subbarao Prabhuji, can you read synonyms for us?
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Synonyms: na, not; ittam, in this way; pumsam, of persons; viragaha, renunciation; syat, is possible; tvaya, by you; kevalina, mrisha, possessing knowledge falsely; manyase, you think; yadi, if; upasamam, renunciation of material enjoyment; sneha pasha, the bonds of affection; nikrantanam, cutting. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Subbarao Prabhuji, for reading synonyms. Thank you. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prajapati Daksha continued, if you think that simply awakening the sense of renunciation will detach one from the material world, I must say that unless full knowledge is awakened, simply changing dresses as you have done cannot possibly bring detachment. Daksha Prajapati is in a mode of fault finding, and so he finds faults one by one. This time he says that you're not given any knowledge, you simply ask them to renounce and change their robes. That's not going to succeed. Purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prajapati Daksha was correct in stating that changing one's dress cannot detach one from these material world. The sannyasis of Kali Yuga who change their robes from white to saffron and then think they can do whatever they like are more abominable than materialistic grahasthas. This is not recommended anywhere. Prajapati Daksha was right in pointing out this defect, but he did not know that Narada Muni had aroused the spirit of renunciation in Haryasvas and Savalasvas through full knowledge. Such enlightened renunciation is desirable. One should enter the renounced order with full knowledge, Gnana Vairagya. For the perfection of the life is possible for one who renounces these material world in that way. These elevated stage can be reached very easily as supported by the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam
Right.
1.2.7.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. वासुदेवे भगवती भक्ति योग प्रयोजितः जनयत्यासु वैराग्यं ज्ञानं च यदहैतुकम्. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Thank you very much. Prakash Rao Prabhuji. By rendering the devotional service unto the by rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. If one seriously engages in devotional service to Lord Vasudeva, Jnana and Vairagya are automatically manifest in one's person. There is no doubt of this. Prajapati Daksha's accusation that Narada had not actually elevated his sons to the platform of knowledge was not factual. All the sons of Prajapati Daksha had first been raised to the platform of Jnana and had then automatically renounced these words. In summary, unless one's knowledge is awakened, renunciation cannot take place. For without elevated knowledge, one cannot give up attachment for the material enjoyment. It's the 40th verse that we are going through today. We started finding fault in Narada Muni's so-called renunciation and knowledge advice and liberation of Savalaswas. We have been, along with Daksha, finding faults one by one. And we have reached to the sixth verse in finding the fault. Today, Daksha Prajapati is telling a very important issue, which I think once and for all of us must understand very well. There is a lot of confusion about devotional service, jnana, knowledge, bhakti. Which begins when, what is first, what brings about the next. And this kind of a jamela does not clear our mind. That's okay if you don't get everything cleared up, because we don't have everything in black and white and cleared in our mind. But this issue is very important as we are going to walk through these Bhakti Yoga. And so we must know about the knowledge, about renunciation, about liberation, about going back to Godhead, and what is the actual process. We are master in our theory and we know very well the 9 stages of the devotional service, beginning from Shravanam. And we can speak those out very quickly. That's fine, and it's a sequential process. That's also true. However, these two subjects of knowledge and renunciation are very, very important. In Bhagavad Gita, even Lord Krishna tried to confuse us when Arjuna asked a question furthering the detail about the knowledge of renunciation. That's when Krishna added and said, why are you so much worried about the detail of that knowledge? Just come to me, surrender, and everything will come to you. The knowledge is the knowledge known as transcendental knowledge. You and I, we know that this transcendental knowledge means knowledge about Krishna and about spirit. It also indirectly tells us the knowledge about the matter that we do not know. So the knowledge is of both the material world and the spiritual world. A positive aspect of the spiritual world and gross negative aspect of the material world makes this a knowledge. We all are conditioned souls, and I'm sure you realize with me that when we were not part and parcel of the Krishna conscious movement, we never thought about any kind of renunciation or material detachment or detachment from this world. We knew that there is something wrong in this world. Probably we'll need to change our thinking, our actions, and we'll be comfortable in the world. However, we wanted to have piety with us, and so we thought of coming here, joining them, and try and understand the scriptures or Vedas that we have been hearing about since our childhood. So we did come here with a kind of a jigyasa, and that's what brought us to the Krishna consciousness movement. However, the Krishna consciousness movement, so meticulously planned by Srila Prabhupada and with references from the scriptures, taught us a gyan that this material world is temporary, a gyan that the material world or material manifestation gets destroyed and it gets recreated, and the fact that the body that we possess is a material body, it also is thrown away when the death occurs. And death is our end point. However, we do not really die, and our spirit continues the further life. That brought us to the spiritual aspect of understanding that we are the spirit soul. We are the part and parcel of that big, what is known as the absolute truth, or Brahman, or whatever you call it, Lord Sri Krishna. And our relationship is eternal. Our constitutional position is Sat Chit Anand and servitor to the Lord Krishna all the time. We also were taught about the third aspect of the knowledge, that we had been a kind of a rebellious and we wanted to be something like Lord Krishna. Because Lord Krishna was the enjoyer and the sole enjoyer, we tried to be one. And that's how we ended up into the material world with an attitude of owing something or the other from this material world. So these are the three aspects we learned first, and I'm sure all of you must be feeling that a kind of detachment has already occurred in the mind. Previously, we used to believe that everything in this world is mine or somebody else's, and that you cannot live without it. You have an air conditioner or a car or a refrigerator or whatever the material items of comfort and pleasure to the body were so strongly attached to us that we cannot do without it. A time has come and gradually we feel that we can live without all of them if the time comes. So this is kind of a detachment that Srila Prabhupada says, referring to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that so much of detachment should be in your mind that you are tired and frustrated of this material world. That is the situation where a true devotional service begins. That phase is known as about to getting liberation. A true devotional service starts after one gets liberated. The knowledge and renunciation both of them cannot create bhakti or devotional service. Remember this golden sentence. I got this sentence from Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani yesterday. And it's very, very true, though it has never been clearly mentioned like that. It is the devotional service, maybe your chanting, hearing, etc., that brings about knowledge and detachment on your person. So start getting knowledge and then then getting detachment would gradually end up getting you a Bhakti Lata Beach, and you would then continue with the devotional service that it has generated. Is not going to happen. That's not the way the devotional service is done. It is the devotional service that you have to begin. And that's where the role of chanting, doing chanting regularly, hearing, and so on, that continues. But at least these two are the basics on which most of our initial faith or Shraddha would develop and become a pure Shraddha or pure faith. That would continue the devotional service. When you are in the process of this devotional service, acknowledged by hearing, by study, gradually comes in. And then the process of denunciation or renunciation or detachment of this material world starts developing on you. So the most important thing is, rather than worrying about getting the knowledge, then getting the renunciation, etc., our duty should be to perform the devotional service or bhakti very regularly, chanting very regularly, hearing absolutely regularly, and then go on doing as you progress further in the devotional service. This is going to bring about all those changes that are needed. Number one, in the form of knowledge about Krishna and in the form of detachment to this material world, followed by attachment to Lord Krishna, and ultimately getting liberated and getting active in the bhakti of Lord Krishna. The initiation of this devotional process or bhakti comes to you either by a mercy of a devotee, rarely a mercy of Krishna directly, and still rarely mercy of Shastras. But it does come at times with what is known as Sukruti. And those Sukruti are the piled up pious activities that you have been doing. And since you do not remember any of them, they are known as Agnat Sukruti. This Agnat Sukruti and some blessings from devotees have brought us here into the Krishna consciousness movement. And now it is our duty that we continue strongly with the devotional service and pass through all these stages. Daksha here explains that you, Narada, You have not brought my children first to the platform of knowledge and then to the process of renunciation because he didn't know the facts. He had only heard half-truth. And on those matters of half-truth, he was deciding fate of Narada Muni. In fact, Narada Muni had followed the process, and it would be an absurd to even think that such a senior exalted devotee like Narada Muni, who is considered to be the first and the foremost devotee of the Lord, would make such a mistake as mistakes are described by Daksha Prajapati. It only reflects the fault-finding mission of Daksha because his agenda has doomed and his instructions are not being followed by his children. However, he does not understand that his children have been very lucky to go back to Godhead without getting entangled into these material world and following his instructions. So Narada Muni gave the instructions, understanding and knowledge, and then instructions about renunciation. And because the Savalaswas followed this process, they have successfully gone back to the Lord for continuous devotional service to the Lord. The Kali Yuga, unfortunately, we are in and we are reaching the pinnacle, which I'm sure you all understand and see all around you in the world, and how the world and the human being is believing and behaving. In this Kali Yuga, people are more interested in the show business, showing that they are this or they are that, rather than doing and becoming a performer. The gross difference between the Satyuga and Kali Yuga is, in Satyuga, you have those high thinkings and you live life with high thinking and keep doing things, and people would never know what you have reached up to. You might have probably done wonders with yourself in reaching the spiritual sky at such a high exalted level, but you would behave like an ordinary person, like Jad Bharat. The issue of the Kali Yuga is, like some of the culture that we have in India, the chap has only 100 rupee note, but he keeps showing almost to everyone and telling them that I have 10,000 rupees. So it's all about the show and probably a false show, false narrative, and false almost everything around us. And that's why here Srila Prabhupada explains that what Daksha said was not wrong, that by changing the robe from white robe of an ordinary person or a Brahmana or Vaishnava to a saffron robe of a sannyasi does not make any difference at all unless there is change in the behavior, unless there is total change of life in renounced order. Till that thing happens, all those changes in the robes have no meaning. And thus he goes further into acquisition that you have done nothing to my children. You just simply changed robes. And you didn't do these two important things: renunciation after knowledge. However, we realize that he was wrong, and thus his argument falls flat. Srila Prabhupada explains in this verse 40. I'll just go through it. As I said earlier, knowledge and renunciation doesn't produce bhakti, but devotional service brings knowledge and renunciation in a person. Knowledge brings real detachment, not by changing dress like Daksha Prajapati suggested Narada has done. Narada actually aroused knowledge in Daksha's sons, and thus they became detached. These are the hard facts that has been described. So we reached up to verse 40, and two more verses to go before we reach verse 43, which will be a verse of the curse. And I would suggest you go through again when the chapter is over. It's a beautiful corollary and very nicely mentioning what the true devotional services are. Any question, any doubts, any queries, any commentaries, any additions, any revelation, please go ahead. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, really, means the doubt which I was having since last 4-5 verses, it's clear now. Actually, what Daksha Prajapati is saying is, ki if it is superficial, है ना, it is not easy. It is not easy to leave materialist world. It is not easy to become ascetic. And what you are saying is only superficial. But actually, unless and until the real Gyan Chakshu of those sons have arose, have opened, they cannot be ascetic. And this is what is the reason which we are getting. Thank you so much.
Yes, Mataji. Your revelation is absolutely perfect, Mataji. That's very true. So it's basically when we do our introspection, and introspection, mind you, is very important factor that we will have to do quite often, just to see whether we are going in the right direction while we do bhakti. Because if we are not in the right direction, then it is like you go to the airport and stay there, never get a flight. So we all now want to go, we are now reaching the airport and we all want a flight to go to our destination. For that, introspection is very essential. And this introspection in you, when you do it, as I was suggested, is to see how much thinking process of yours have changed. Have you in you created compassion for others, which previously you did not have? Have you started thinking about Krishna whenever you are free? Have you started following all rules and regulations, or you skip some at times? And whether you are feeling missing of those material life pleasures. Things must change in all of this, and that only changes if our thinking and our perception changes. Srila Prabhupada says that if you continue chanting, then chanting itself will take care of all these changes and that will occur automatically. I tend to believe it because you have realized, I am sure, and I have realized as well, when your chanting goes well, you want to do some more rounds when your chanting is good, and you feel more satisfied and happy, more comfortable with the perfect chanting. So chanting has a big role. Regular chanting is like regular medicine. And keep doing that until you reach some sensible stage of maybe early mid Madhyama Adhikari or so. We are still all neophytes. I hope that makes some sense, Shakti Mataji.
Yes, 100%. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other question? Any other commentary?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Bhakti is independent of knowledge and vairagya, this one, detachment.
Yes.
And Sri Krishna himself tells Bhagavad Gita 10.10 and 10.11, that Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, that he gives knowledge those who are continuously in the devotional service. Those two verses. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So he says he will give buddhi yoga for those who are in the devotional path. And also he says again in the 11th verse also, Teshamevanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atmabhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. So he says those who are in the devotional path, he will sit in their heart and he will light the lamp of knowledge. So this is the one we can take it as those who are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so they will get the knowledge by automatically. Now, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
also, Prabhuji, and also like there is Bhajananandis like Gauri Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj and all. They were chanting so much. They were actually, so highly knowledgeable, and that the knowledge Krishna is revealed. Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur took him as his guru. And those Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur was such a Goshtyanandi, such a knowledgeable, like he was living encyclopedia. But he was advised by his this father Bhakti Vinoda Thakur to take him as the guru. So knowledge is depending upon bhakti, no, Prabhuji? Bhakti.
Yes.
Bhakti reveals itself, Krishna reveals itself, this jnana and vairagya will come automatically with that, Prabhuji.
Yes.
My understanding is correct, Prabhuji.
Absolutely, Mataji. Madhumai Mataji, thank you very much for your wonderful revelation and very nice two references that you gave. Thank you very much. That proves that the devotional service is something we keep doing, and rest will come to us automatically. The carry home message today, as I feel, is to me as a neophyte, even if you break one of your regulatory principles, the way out is keep chanting more and more thereafter, and that automatically will correct the fall that you had, and it would probably never happen again. So answer to all the queries, all the questions, and all the doubts that whenever you have, just take up the japa bag, sit down in a corner of a room, and chant. Chant with the full mind and full thinking. And you will have all the solutions in your mind and at your head. This is the carry home message for today. Hare Krishna, everyone. If there are no further questions,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Pranandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. From today's verse, and just now Mataji told na that bhakti is independent. So Jnana and Vairagya, in this verse it said Jnana and Vairagya are byproducts of bhakti.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that automatically Jnana and Vairagya come. And if we are waiting that after Jnana only or after Vairagya only I will do bhakti, then it is useless. That's true,
Exactly.
Prabhuji.
Yes, that's very true, Pranandini Mataji.
Hare
That
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Gnana and Vairagya are the byproducts. Don't wait for them. Don't wait to be a Pandit. Don't wait to be a completely renounced. Then you will start a bhakti. No, do the bhakti and rest will follow. So chanting and devotional service or bhakti is the most important direct elevator to take us back to Godhead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, one more this thing.
Yes,
And
Madhumai Mata.
actually, by chanting only, we could understand, Bhagavad Gita. Our understanding becomes more and more as we go on chanting. That's why we are encouraged to chant from the beginning only. Level 1, please chant 1 round. Then say level 2, please chant 3 to 4 rounds. When they come to level 3, please chant at least 6 rounds, like that. And so otherwise understanding is difficult. You see, so when we
Yeah.
chant, then we will understand this knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, whatever is taught, or
Yeah.
Bhagavatam. Is it?
That's very, very true, Madhumai Mataji. What you're saying is absolutely correct. Because at times as neophytes, we might feel that these 1 round and 2 rounds and 4 rounds are some kind of a arbitrary regulation as the military and other organizations have. But it's not like that. It's actually taking you up gradually into a higher and higher platform of chanting. And that's why chanting is the most important main factor of devotional service. Remember that, and that remember always, and that will help all of us to progress further. Thank you very
Thank
much, Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patita nama pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you very much, Madhumai Mataji, Pranandini Mataji, and Shakti Avasti Mataji. Shakti Mataji, you think a lot and you explain a lot as well. It's quite impressive. Thank you. Thank you for everybody's contribution. Hare Krishna to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, all the devotees.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. All